really interesting career. What's it like running the UK end of a world-famous manufacturer like Porsche, like Lamborghini, like BMW? Huge responsibility.
Yeah, it is huge responsibility. Particularly when I took over a Porsche, because the business was in deep distress. I had 32 brands in the marketplace. We were number 32, so we were at the bottom of the pile. And where'd you go from there? And we looked at it as a team and said, are we going to be the people responsible for this great brand when it goes off the road? And we said, no, we're not. So the responsibility was enormous. I mean, you've got a lot of people, you've got their jobs, you've got the brand to protect and the business to rebuild. So, yeah, it's very challenging. But you know what? At the same time, it's very exciting. And we had a lot of fun. We worked terribly hard. We went from number 32 to number 1 over 4 years. Awful lot of work by a lot of great people.
Now, you've got a background both as an engineer and an accountant. Was it inevitable you were going to get heavily involved in the automotive industry, particularly at the upper end, if you like? Did you love cars as a kid?
Yeah, I always loved cars, but it was never part of my plan. My engineering degree is in structural engineering, because I was a civil engineer for 3 years.
You're going to build bridges and stuff?
Yeah, exactly that. I built Hall 7 of the NEC, where we had the motor show. But
in Birmingham?
Yeah, so I could stand and say, hey, I didn't do it on my own. There were a few other people involved. But, I could stand and say, hey, I remember when we built this place. But no, as you said, I was an accountant. I worked for a large chemical manufacturer. And then Porsche were actually advertising. And they were looking for somebody who could read a balance sheet and read a blueprint.
Yeah.
And I read the ad and I thought, well, that's me. And I applied, and to my surprise, I got the job. So I was there for 5 years, really watching this business disintegrate around me and getting more and more frustrated until the board were all fired, and I was invited to meet the family. It's a family-owned business.
Wow.
And I went to meet the Porsche and Piech family, and I thought, well, they're going to fire me, so I'll tell them what I really think. And, I made the point, I think you can fix this. And they said, how would you do it? And I expected a 10-minute interview.
Yeah, without coffee, as they say.
Exactly.
On your way, son.
On your way.
And they ended up saying, go on, then.
Well, they gave me 4 hours, and I explained how I would fix this business and what I would do. And they asked me to leave the room 5 minutes to come back in. They said, right, you're the new managing director. What, me? I'm 32 years old. Yeah, fix it. That's the plan. And that's what we did. And we got
You had nothing to lose at that point, because you thought you were out the door anyway, right? So you just went for it.
Exactly. And but we're hugely passionate about the brand.
Yeah.
And about this great product that we produced and the fact the business had lost its way. So it was a case of rebuilding, turning it around and refocusing. And then from there, I bought Lamborghini GB for £100,000, the whole company.
Yeah.
And then we turned that into something special. And then BMW knocked on the door and said, would you come and run our business? We love what you did at Porsche, but it was always a bit rocky, wasn't it? And I said, well, it wasn't rocky. We just changed a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, would you come and run our business? And whatever you do, don't knock it off the rails, because, we're going really quite well. Mm. But when I looked at it, I actually thought we could do a lot more with this business than was being done. So again, it was a case of inspiring the team, deciding where we were going to go. And over the next 4 years, I was presented with a plan that said, please grow this business at 4% per annum. I actually grew it at 80%, and we grew operating profit by 500%.
Tell us about the business you're focusing on now. Radical Sports Cars in Peterborough.
Yep.
We talk on this show a lot about the cost of living, about people trying to make ends meet, and you're basically in the up-end sports car business. How is that business getting on at a time when there's a lot of economic struggle and woe out there? Is it still a thriving sector? Because the Brits we're pretty good at this kind of stuff, aren't we? High-end manufacturing, particularly when it comes to sports cars.
Yeah, we're really good at it. Radical is the biggest manufacturer of racing cars in the world. And this year is our biggest year ever. Now, you've got two competing forces. One is a new management team went into there 3-4 years ago, and they've done a great job of focusing and developing the business and new products and starting to really engage the customers. So that's hugely positive. Mm. Of course, the negative is challenging the inflationary pressure that we're seeing. And, of course, our customers...
In the supply chain, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You see those PPI numbers I put up at the top of the show? 24%.
Oh, huge. Absolutely.
Crikey.
Huge.
And a lot of your stuff's being shipped in from around the world, right? A lot of components.
A lot of components come in from specialist manufacturers around the world. So we're facing that as a negative pressure. And, of course, even our customers, who can be spending £150,000 on a racing car, are not immune to the fact that life's tough, and they'll be running their own businesses typically.
Yeah, of course.
And it's very hard to make difficult decisions in your own business and then turn up with a brand new racing car.